I believe in, you know, but you have this rivalry. Oh, you screwy rabbit. Oh, there's no way you're moving that. Not with 3 or 5 tires. There you go. 488. We're still waiting on the break-in period. Welcome to Rip Roaring Garage. I'm Alex. Before we start this episode, obviously by the time you see this, it's going to be 21 years since September 11th happened. I'm not going to go too much into it because it's still a touchy subject. Both of my parents were working in the towers at the time, and luckily I was not an orphan, but others were not so fortunate, and I kind of just want to, you know that saying, never forget. But I got 3 things I want to talk about. What the hell's happening? First, we're going to talk about those special edition cars, my opinion, and what my predictions are going to be. Second thing is going to be the whole markup situation. And the third is going to be what's in the future. And we're going to go not on rumor. You guys know what I used to do. I used to pretty much teach math. I tend to kind of like to look at things that are fact, and we go just based on reason and logic. They're a company, they want to make money. No matter what ideology you may have, at the end of the day, they cannot survive without our money. And a lot of people don't like what they're putting out. In fact, a lot of people feel insulted, and I don't blame them. The third point is going to be my predictions as far as what's going to happen with gasoline engines, and in particular the V8. There's a lot of stuff going out there about V8s being done, but there's so much stuff that has happened, so much stuff that can happen, that you can do a reverse 180. But we'll get to that. Let's start off with the first point. So the first thing are these special editions. Let's face it, Dodge pretty much told us with the first name, it's a shakedown. They're grabbing your ankles and shaking all your money. No batteries. You can literally build most of these cars with one exception, but all of them are just sticker packages and things that are already existent. Sure, they're cool, but not at that price. When you're starting to pay Hellcat money, goodbye. This is for the bean counters that work for Dodge, Ford, GM, Toyota, whatever, their performance divisions. You are not part of the car community. Maybe 1 out of 10 of you is an enthusiast. The other guys, you got hired because you wanted to work in some other industry and you settled for this. Now you're surprised because things don't turn out and you're not put up, you know, on a pedestal and a statue's not made of you. The Super B is cool. The basically 1320 Charger, let's just call it that. I'll let the other channels that go day by day cover all these things. What I would recommend is just go to dodgegarage.com and you'll see everything there. Very light on information, very light on details. They talk about options, like, well, if you can't order it, who's ordering these cars? A lot of it is just trying to create a bloodbath when it comes to markup and so on. And that brings us to the second point I wanted to make, is the markup. Now, I don't have a problem with markup. I believe in a fair market system. So if I have a good, I have a, you know, something, and I ask for a price, you agree, bam, we're good. Nobody's putting a gun to your head to say, oh, well, you know, you got to buy this. Well, unless the government gets involved, and that's when you have the electric cars, and that's, you know. But markup is fine. The problem with the markup is the contract that is breached between Dodge and the dealership. It's Dodge's name and reputation on the line. And when a dealership rips off a customer, they're less likely to come back. In fact, I myself, I'm in the position where I'm trying to get this car. It's a super stock, and the markup is, I know I said in the past it was 30K only because in my head, you know, 130, and I round off the number to 100, but the car is not 100,000. It's actually a lightly optioned car, which is what I wanted. I want it to be light, you know, that's great for the drag strip. And it's more close to 40K markup, which is insane. I mean, I want it, and I want it bad because I know a super stock, those are cars that will appreciate. You're not gonna, it's gonna be like a demon. However, cars like this, the Scat Pack, got it for MSRP. Other dealerships, they're charging, you know, 10K, 20K, which is ridiculous. Now Dodge, if they don't want people to say, you know what, screw this, I'm going to a ZL1, they better step up and intervene somehow. I typically post once a week, so give me that little subscribe. And don't forget to turn that little bell notification, put it on all. Like I said, I'm not going to spam you with BS stuff. I make shorts, but you will not get notified of them because I know a lot of you guys that watch this kind of video hate the shorts. I'm just trying to convert the vertical view people to normal horizontal. So yeah, I'm okay with the markup in theory. Obviously, I'm going to try to do everything I can to get that down to 0, or you know, whatever I can to get a better deal. And that's where negotiation comes in. It may not apply necessarily for Dodge because they're killing production, but it could apply to a ZL1 situation, which is supposedly going to end in 24. That brings us to point number 3. What's Dodge gonna do? You have this article right here, the Motortrend, Motortrack, whatever, I'll put it up right now. They're firmly convinced that the V8, the Hemi, will live. You even have big channels like Racer X that's starting to say, well, maybe it will live on. And I do recommend following as many of the other guys. I don't know them personally, I just follow and watch and whatever, because if you're a potential buyer, you need to have as much info as possible. Like, it's a math problem. The more given data you have, the easier it is to solve. What we know, the L platform, Charger, Challenger, they're going to be done in 23. Maybe it's a refresh, maybe it's a totally new platform. Personally, I like these. These are the old Mercedes, the Daimler Chrysler whole thing. They're good cars. They last, and I like the look. What can I say? The Hemi, we already know that it's not going to die in 23. It's still going to live on in the tracks or the TRX, however you want to say it. I go by to bug my local guy, my local dealership, and guess what's on the lot? Yep, and it has the package with the rail in the back, makes it look like a Tonka truck, and it was sold literally like within like hours. Somebody saw it, pulled in, bye-bye. You know, it's luck of the draw, and that's kind of going back to the whole packages, the way you can't order them. It's going to be chaos. I foresee people paying markups because they want to get it, and well, they don't want this package. They would have wanted some other package, but that's the one available, and they'll just get it. Very Lada Soviet style, like, you get car, you like car, this is what you get, you shut up. You lucky, comrade, you got car. We know that the V8 is not going away completely. We know a lot of people are not going to buy electrics. I'm one of them. Let's face it, everybody's trying to make some interesting and you know, not boring content. So you need something fresh, but that runs the risk of lots of rumors. So I'm going to sit back and I'm going to give you the synopsis and what I think is going to happen, because I don't think the Hemi is gone. It will be most likely gone for 24. Milwaukee battery died. Going back to what I was saying, the electric thing is going to have some serious problems. I mean, on one side you got the governments of various states promoting it, and the other side, same very governments are telling you to not charge your cars, not turn your air conditioning on, blah blah blah. That's the language I speak, and if you speak it, you're part of my tribe. But that's one of the issues, and I'm going to do a video of a comparison of what you're missing in an electric versus a gas car. Even if it's a V6, even if it's a 4-banger, there's still these things that are inquantifiable. And ultimately, buying a car like this is not basic transportation anymore. So if it's an emotional component to a purchase, well, we do stupid things sometimes. Like driving a car like this in the winter or dailying it, whatever. It's stupid, but it's like my kind of stupid. Are electrics going to sell? Yeah, they're going to sell in the first year. All the fanboys, all the whatever that just want the techies. They got to have the next iPhone. They got to, you know, be up to date with gadgetry. But you won't see the car guys. You won't see, you know, the direct connection guys coming back in. But I don't think that the internal combustion is gone. I actually can get into debates, and I may do so in the comments. So leave me a comment. I do answer. You can check out the old video, which I want to thank all of you guys that have come on board, that watched and liked it. Services shall begin where we worship God, gas, oil, and diesel. It's not meant to be blasphemous. I'm just being silly, okay? So for those of you that are like, oh, chill. And even if you don't want to subscribe, if I'm not your, like, you know, cup of tea, just give me a like, okay? That actually helps me more than subscribing and then you not watching. It doesn't look good when you go to the restaurant and they give you the plate with the food and you don't eat it, but you want to support the restaurant. And other people looking outside, I'm like, oh, nobody's eating. They're turning their food back. That's kind of the same thing with the likes and the subscribes. There's a lot of information and a lot of contradictions. Dodge lies. Dodge has been lying since I can't even remember. Basically, the Demon is the most recent big example. Quote, there will never be another car like this. And what do you get right after that? You get a super stock, which, barring the race ECU and the wheels, the tires, it's the same car. Okay, it doesn't have the hood. hood lets more air in. Okay, get another hood. I mean, you can mod that minimally, and now it's a demon. Oh, Kaniskus, he said, never let up, whatever the hell they're calling marketing lingo. We're not going to release sticker packages. And what have we gotten with the Swinger of all names? And I get it, there was the Swinger, the Dart Swinger. But at the time, it wasn't common. Nobody knew what a Swinger was.
Look, we all want to swing, baby, but you took it too far.
There you are. It's 2023. You go in, you see the Stinger, you want to buy it, and the dealer says like, okay, so here are your keys, grab them from this bowl, which is kind of the way that they're allocated anyways, like very random. I mean, come on. Who thought that was a good idea? I like Wad by the Nation, his take on it is like only divorcees and those in the process of getting a divorce will be driving that car. So it's not going to have a good reputation. The only one that, like I said, is worth it is a 1320 for guys that wanted a drag car in 4 doors. Here's where logic and reason kind of lead me to believe that this story is not just untold, it's unwritten. I don't think Dodge knows what's going to happen. Ford knew they kind of screwed up with the bloated wannabe car, the Mustang EV, what did they call it, the mockery. The big announcement a couple of days ago, the 7th generation Mustang with the looking like the shift knob, the pattern. They're alluding to that manual raw feeling, hearing the engine rev and all that. And now GM is considering not cutting the Camaro. If the Mustang goes in full force, goes hard, what do you think GM is going to do? Because they're not going to pit the Corvette against a lowly Mustang, even though there's Mustangs out there that are 150K. They're going after the Ferraris, the Maseratis, and all that. So that's why you've seen the Corvette go upscale. They may extend it, or even just come up with a whole new design. You have this rivalry between Ford and GM that goes back decades. I mean, hell, this is like the muscle car wars. I guarantee you, Kaniskus is going to be, like, do we give up on the Hemi while these guys are, making money hand over fist? I don't think so. Add into that a lot of things could happen. There's elections that could happen. Let's not forget the Supreme Court did rule that the EPA has no authority to issue fines. So there's a lot of things. Dodge may not be penalized for making cars we want.
Oh, you're burning gas.
How much gas did I burn for less than 500 miles in a month? Your freaking Prius or whatever thing burns more. It's a stupid argument. These are pleasure cars for the most part, and they're part of our culture, our heritage, and even a way of life. If you want to watch the previous episode, because there I go a little into why car culture is so important to us, and many of us, it has this spiritual component. But these are things to consider because a lot of people are speculatively buying. That's not necessarily a good thing. Stupid GoPro's overheating even though I got the AC on, but I gotta blow directly on it to cool it down. What I was saying is that obviously you're gonna have the speculators that are gonna be driving prices up. It's gonna screw things up for the guys that love the cars and want to drive them and enjoy them and not worry about it every time you put a mile on the car, you're throwing out $100 bill. Low mileage cars get more money, and if you have the car, I get it. I mean, I'm in a position where I don't want to drive my car. If they go up to a stupid price, obviously I'll sell. It is what it is. Now, if Dodge decides that, in fact, they will continue with the Hemis, right, in a different platform or something, who knows what. Maybe it's a different engine. Maybe it's not a 6.4. Maybe it's a 6.3 or whatever. Then that would kind of lower the prices, especially if power goes up and whatnot. Dodge lies. Accept that. Your super stock may be a production car in 25. California?
Just days after the state banned gas cars by 2035, the state is telling electric vehicle owners not to charge up.
They banned the sale of brand new cars that burn gas and all that. When? 2035. You know how many times I've heard bills like this pass in Europe and in other states, and they just keep extending it until they end it? Anyways, let's keep it here. Let's keep it short. Take a moment of silence for like what happened, not just on 9/11, but a lot of the stuff happened afterwards. You may not like Bush, and I ain't exactly a fan, but a lot of people died and gave parts of their bodies to the actions that happened afterwards. And it was their desire to stand up and defend their country and their neighbors and families and loved ones. And it was that desire that I would like to, you guys to kind of honor and all that. Screw the likes, screw all the other stuff. That's why we are Americans. You can't have the a muscle car without everything else. I'm Alex, and this is Rip Roaring Garage, and still, oil is thicker than blood.